Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Kamren Fox, back here with Into Sports, and I'm here with Miss Christina Brown, geometry teacher and current Kansas City Chiefs cheerleader. So, I first want to start off by congratulating you on making a part of the team. Like, I know that's been a lifelong journey for you to be a part of the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleading, and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
For this to be your first year and like you're already going to the Super Bowl, that's like gotta feel very overwhelming. So I kind of want to start off with your teaching background because I know you've been a math teacher, and I kind of want to know what drove you down that path because you had this dream of being a cheerleader, but you went to be a math teacher.
Yeah, so I always say one of my favorite lessons I ever learned was you have a left side and you have a right side of your brain. And your left side is more like analytical, it's black and white, and I think about that as like my math side of my brain. Whereas my right side is my creative side, and I enjoy like a lot of the arts, and dance is one of the arts. So having that balance in life, because being a math teacher and teaching math for 8 hours a day, it gets to be quite a bit of using that left side, so I get to kind of balance it and go to practice at the end of the day and use my right side. So that's just kind of, I don't know, the puzzle pieces that worked well for me.
Okay, nice. How has your experience teaching geometry influenced your strategy and tactics in cheerleading?
That's a pretty interesting question, actually. So whenever, like, if you were in weights or in something like that and you think about, like, your body positioning, like, a lot of times they use things like your feet are parallel to the ground, or, like, we talk about arm positioning a lot within dance, and it's a lot about the overall visual. So you want, like, everybody's bodies are different, but you have to kind of work with, like, the angles of your body to make sure that everybody's approaching it the same way, that it looks the same way. Because the visual of everybody looking like they're doing the exact same thing is what makes it so cool. And so I use a lot of just geometry, which I never thought I would be the geometry teacher. I didn't think I'd ever enjoy geometry that much, but I use it literally all the time because I'm always thinking about, okay, are my, like, arms, like, at a 90-degree angle? Are my feet parallel? How is my arm angled to everybody else's arm in this visual? And so I use it a lot more than I ever thought I would, to be honest, but it's still kind of cool in, like, just itty-bitty parts here and there, and I definitely think about it more than the average person does.
Oh, that's actually awesome because I've never thought that anybody would take geometry and kind of just apply it to real world things like that. So going on from that, as a member of the KC Chiefs cheerleading squad, how do you support the team from the sidelines, and what do you feel like your role is?
So I actually have a really interesting role. Part of what my job is, and a strength that I didn't know I had, was actually in communicating. And so I tend to support a lot more in the communication role. I talk to a lot of people within, like, our club level, or the people who work for our organization, people who we have coming in that we want to, we always want to make a good impression, but we want to put our best foot forward. So I'm always really lucky that I get to go out and do those things. I feel like that is one of my favorite things, is that, people know the Chiefs. And right now we're played as, like, the villain, which is kind of fun because it's opposite of what we felt for the last couple years. But we still, when we walk into the room, we want to walk in and, just get rid of any of those stereotypes or, like, whatever's kind of going on in the news, because they're going to say a lot of stuff, and just greet everybody with a friendly smile and make sure that they know that, like, we are really welcoming, and Chiefs organization has that overall just appearance about it. Like, it's very friendly, welcoming. Everybody's just, I don't want to say small town because I don't believe Kansas City is a small town, but it has that feel. And I always want to carry that with me whenever I'm, out there speaking and greeting and appearing for them.
I can definitely tell that you definitely give off that presence right now, just even in this interview, so thank you for that. As a first-year cheerleader but experienced dancer, like you said, what are, like, the little different things that come into cheerleading and dancing?
So, and the interesting thing about NFL cheer teams is that all of them are so different. And so some cheer teams are the kinds who do stunts, and then there are cheer teams who are dance teams. And so the cheer team that I'm a part of is more of a dance-based squad, but it doesn't mean that you have to be a dancer to join the squad. A lot of people come from different backgrounds, but it's more so just about, like, a high energy and high, just positivity, like uplifting kind of style to it. And I think that that's the one thing that you have to pick up in whatever sport that you're in, whether that's gymnastics, cheer, dance, or like a majorette background. You have to bring that to the table when you're on our squad. So that was something that I really had to learn, but I was lucky that a lot of my dance background was able to come back into play for the Chiefs cheer.
Okay. So in what way has being a cheerleader affected your view on the NFL, and as a perspective from like a fan to now working with them and for them?
So, and that's always a fun question because I was a diehard Chiefs fan before I ever joined the team, and I was like, this was my dream, was to go and dance for the Chiefs cheerleaders. So it was very interesting kind of flipping the table, going from being at every single game, watching every single game, feeling that heartache, but now feeling it on the opposite side because now that I'm a cheerleader, like our season ends when the boys end. So that's a different kind of feeling whenever, you know, I'm watching the game from, well, these games, like the AFC Championship game was away this time. And so it was very nerve-wracking, me and all my teammates, we watched it together because we weren't sure if that was going to be like our last practice. Like we're just kind of walking on eggshells right now and hoping that we go and keep going to the Super Bowl, but it's never guaranteed. Whereas as a fan, I just want him to go because I love the Chiefs. But in a way, and I don't want to say it's selfish, but like I love my team, I love my girls. Like this is one of my favorite things I've ever been a part of, and I want that to keep going on for as long as it can. But I also want the Chiefs to do really good. So luckily, those two things go together, and I can just spend more time with them, and we can go to Super Bowls all the time.
So how do enjoyable moments like that differ from like the stressful times? Because I know, like you said, you're here teaching math 8 hours a day. You're part of a top tier cheer squad. Like how do you balance like the good moments and the bad moments?
So, you know, it is kind of crazy because I'm getting my master's right now online, and then I teach dance classes on the side. And I've kind of always been, and I've tried to voice this to a lot of my students I have in class too, that life is going to be as crazy as you can let it be, but I just take this approach of it's all going to get done eventually, and I'm not going to regret doing all of these things and pushing myself kind of past my limits. So why not, like, just do it? And that's just the approach that I've kind of taken for this year. And even though it is kind of crazy, like this week especially has been the craziest one because you can't plan for the Super Bowl because you don't want to jinx the Super Bowl. So I'm currently just packing and getting everything ready so that I can go. But it is a lot of balancing at times, so I live by the hour.
Okay. Can you share a memorable experience from just being a part of the team this whole season so far?
Yeah, so I'm actually wearing the t-shirt, which is ironic, but we did a Champions Tour after we won the Super Bowl last year. And so the Chiefs are just so, like they come up with all these new ideas all the time. So they came up with this idea of making a bus and taking it around Chiefs Kingdom. And we would take the Super Bowl trophy, and we would take some of the alumni players with us. And so we went to Springfield, and it was one of the most fun appearances I've ever worked. We ended up staying there almost 8 hours. And it was one of those things where, like, you can't control what's happening. But it was one of my first appearances, and it was with Neil Smith and Danon Hughes, which, like, Danon Hughes, you hear his voice on the radio all the time. And then that was my first time meeting him, and I was just like, I feel like I know you. And it was just so cool, because then I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm hanging out with them, and their Super Bowl trophies being passed around, and it was just a crazy kind of day with everything just not going the way we expected it to, but also the most memorable because we had so much fun. We made so many memories in the process of that. So
that's amazing. Wow. I just want to say it's really exciting to be able to talk to you because you're a part of Super Bowl 58. You're part of the cheer team. Like, just being able to sit next to you, having you in the presence of just our school in general too, Winnetonka High School, like, that's an amazing thing. You do an amazing thing here at Winnetonka, guiding these students through classes. And you have students that look up to you, so I just want to make sure that you know that. Congratulations on making the team, on going to the Super Bowl. Like, it's a really big step for you in your life. So congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
No, I'll just say go Chiefs, and hopefully we get to bring that parade back on Valentine's Day.
Yes, go Chiefs, back to back, baby. I'm Cam Fox.
And I'm Miss Brown.
And y'all just got into it.